That's destruction of
I
property
feel
right
so
there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Collins.
Here.
Baloo.
Here.
Consos.
Here.
Van.
Here.
Garmin.
Here.
Buxton.
Here.
Council should have received a copy of the minutes from the previous meeting in October. Any amendments? Hearing none, minutes stand as approved. Takes us to public speaks. Gary.
No.
Joe?
Keep the trick or treaters away. We were mobbed.
Yeah, pretty busy.
We had a ton of I didn't even notice.
Where were you at?
I was feeling crappy. I didn't even
Watching a
know.
football game.
Well, did they go well though?
Oh, yeah, just
Yeah.
lots of.
Good.
I had over 300.
300.
Oh, yeah, they was coming in groups of 20s
That's
at a
great.
time.
Yeah.
It was nonstop for a good hour and a half.
Yeah, I
Started to
was
taper off about 4:30.
about 20 to 5, I was out. I said,
Yeah.
that's it.
I'm glad to hear it went well.
Should I put that in public speaks? No more trick or treaters next year?
Said he put his name down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it says no more trick or treaters next
When I
year.
left to go to work, it was raining.
I'm gonna put my wife out there, tell her, look what they cost you. She'll get mad, she'll wanna fight.
Very.
It's expensive.
You're gonna have to have cops up there.
Yeah, she'll take care of it. All right, Sue?
Yes, sir, of course. Thank you. I'm here tonight, my last big push before election tomorrow. Everybody, please vote. Thank you all for sharing my post. I did as much as I could. I'm still going to post it tomorrow, but if you know of anybody that's voting, not knowing if they're going to vote or saying they're not going to vote for the police levy, please tell them to vote for it. It is vitally important. Okay. Secondly, who would someone talk to or address about a response issue by the paramedics here in East Canton? Would that come to council? Would that go to the police chief? How would that work?
The paramedics are operated through the township. So in my opinion, probably go to the trustees.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
And lastly, I also would like to know the truth, the real truth, and nothing but the truth instead of a rumor. What happened with the issue of somebody removing something at the park, a memento to their family member?
Yeah. I mean, Administrator Collins, do you want to speak on that or do you want me?
No, I'm good.
All right, so what took place, we had a tree and a flower bed that surrounded said tree. And it was up in the years, so it was starting to fail. When I say fail, the railroad ties that made up the bed were actually falling apart.
Right.
The monument that was being referenced was actually overgrown. So the village made the decision to remove that because of the failing flower bed. That monument, that plaque, Village Administrator Collins still had. I don't know if you still have it or not.
We do.
The village does plan to put flower beds in its place, at which point we were going to put the plaque back up. So it's not that the plaque was destroyed, it wasn't thrown away, it was just the current setup was not visually appealing and it was failing. So that's why the decision was made to take it out.
So it's going to be repotted, re-put, relaid, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting a different style flower bed. It'll be a little bit easier to maintain, at which point that plaque will be put in place.
My initial response when I saw it on Facebook was, oh, vandals.
Yeah,
And I think I put on there nicely as I could. I hope they catch the
yeah,
rotten person.
Yeah.
Because I had to delete what I really wanted to put on there. But several people had asked me about it because I know the family. And I said,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
have no idea. Check with the family. Some appeared to know, some appeared to not know. So I thought, well, I'll just find out what the truth is.
that's what happened. That's what happened in the decision that was made.
Is that something that anybody can do up there at that park? Was that a special thing? I mean, pretty soon it's going to look like a graveyard if you let everybody do that.
No, I think it was because the gentleman in question happened to be the zoning inspector for a while.
Oh, really?
So he was
Okay.
the zoning inspector for the village for a long time. I'm sure it came before council. And I'm sure council gave approval for said memorial. I wasn't on council then, but I would venture to say that it had to be approved by the village in some capacity to have that in place.
Okay.
That would have been Bob DeLong that was
Correct.
zoning inspector.
Correct, yes.
That was
All right.
like 2005,
Is that how long ago it was?
roughly.
Wow.
It was just-
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that answer. At least now I know the truth.
Yeah.
Thank you.
no
That's
problem.
it.
And I'm actually touching base on that tonight too.
Oh, cool. All right. You should have told me. Threw something at me. I got it.
Paul, turn around and catch that bug coming there.
It's bug on the wall. Listen to what you're saying, Paul. All right. Anything else for public speaks?
Kill
Takes us to committee reports, service.
Okay, under roads, nothing to report there. Underwater, the backup generator is in. The cement pad has been laid, and we're putting in the generator tomorrow. It won't be totally installed. We're gonna place it. They gotta wire it up. The gas company will be here on Wednesday to run gas to it. So I'd say by the end of the week, we should have her up and running. Just except what we were shooting for anyway. So yeah, so things are moving along well right there. And then next week, the fence will come in and we'll put a fence up around it, so. Okay, last council, if you guys remember, I passed out some paperwork. I'm gonna pass out some more here. This is the second part, what I was telling you. You know, the first part, I told you Insight would no longer be supported.
Wednesday morning.
And we had to change our system, the way we're doing our billing system. Neptune no longer supports Insight. Paperwork I gave you last time was on the Neptune 360 software at a price of $10,700. What you just received tonight is the R900 gateway. Totally two different things. The first part is just for billing. Bottom line is, we don't have a choice. We have to move forward on that one. The second part, the R900 gateway, what that is, they would come in and they would put an antenna up on top of the water tower, and all the read would automatically come to the water clerk's desk. There would be no more reading meters, except for special ones, or the ones that we don't have RS on. And now when I talked to him today, because I thought it was a total of $27,000 to do that. Well, here it's not. That's $27,000 just for them to put up the system. So total, it would be the $27,000 plus the $10,000 for a total of $38,000. That's kind of a big bite. I get that. But something to keep in the back of your mind, the day ever comes or whatever, you know, if you remember, we started out at 2,880 hours of walking around this village every year, and we got it down to about 5 hours now, compared to 3 of us walking all them hours.
Yeah.
Now it takes one guy about 5 hours
Every 2 months, right?
every 2 months to read. Then we do rereads or something, or when Penny gets them, anything questionable or a red flag throws up, she spits it at us. Anytime she's questionable, now that's where the R900 comes into play. Anything she wants to question, anything she wants to do, she can just get on a computer and see live her house, your house, and see exactly where you're at. It'll tell her everything that we know in the field right at her desktop. Yeah, it's a little bit of a chunk of change there, but on the other hand, down the long run, might be a good thing. So I'm sure we're not going to go there that way. That's fine for now, but we do have to look, because we got to make a decision. We don't have a choice. We have to move on the other one.
Yeah.
In order for our billing to be done by June of 24. So, and I know council will have to make an approval on that. So. Okay, enough said on that. Under the parks. The 2 flower beds have been removed due to being old and falling apart, just like the mayor said. And it was actually, the roots were actually popping up the walking path. And the tree was getting so big when people were walking around it, it was actually over the walking path where people would just walk into the tree. So it was time.
What part of the park was that on?
Up at the top.
Yeah.
To the left of the pavilion, it'd be
Okay.
west of the pavilion there,
Okay.
so. But I did contact the family, and, they were fine. I think they thought we threw the plaque away. And we told them we had no intentions of ever doing that, we would never do that. And we were looking at putting it back in if they didn't want the plaque. And once we explained to them why we did what they did, they totally understood, and they were fine. So now these new ones are actually pretty cool. They're 8 foot long, 4 foot wide, 2 foot high. And the reason we went with something like that is because the residents that take care of these flower beds are the older people in town. You know, the older women and older gentlemen. Think about it. It's hard for us to get on our hands and knees and get back up at our age. Think of these guys, they're in their upper 70s and 80s that are doing this stuff. And that's gotta be tough on them, and it's so big. 1 second. Service department. Yeah, they were so big, besides falling apart, and these folks had to get on their hands and knees and try to weed all this stuff. And to me, as I look at it, it's not fun no more. It wasn't fun on our end. I'd hate to see on their end trying to weed them, and they couldn't keep up. So now we got them raised in the air. They're a lot smaller. The people can go down there and actually just do this. And it's not so big. It may be enjoyed a little more compared to the old way. That's all.
What kind of material are you using for the raised bed?
Galvanized steel.
We got pictures of them. We can show you. But that's what we're doing. And we only took 2 out. The back one over by the pond, we left. The person asked if we could leave that one because it's still in decent shape, and he likes it that way. I'm more than happy to leave it there, so we did. So only 2 of them are being replaced. That's true. And that's all I got under buildings. Nothing to report. That's it. Everything's been moving along pretty good the last few weeks, so.
Glad to hear about the generator project moving forward. That's our last big one for the year, so good work on that. Good stuff. All right, takes us to safety. Sergeant Wells.
Here for Chief today. He cannot make it. We have reported 11 streetlights to AEP this week. Chief also submitted the information for the reimbursement for the body cameras. That was done, I think he said about 3 days ago. And then we had 10 traffic stops, 7 theft reports, 7 follow-ups, 4 missing people reports. 1 was suicidal. All 4 of them ended up having to get entered into leads. I think 2 is still in leads at this time. The other 2 was found. And 4 alarm drops, which is just welfare checks or business checks. And then we have 4 actual welfare checks. 3 suspicious people. 1 ended up being a felony arrest. 3 unwanted calls. That one is still kind of ongoing as well. We're just identifying the boyfriend, the unwanted boyfriend. 2 assists outside the agencies. I can't tell you exactly what those ones were because they weren't mine. 1 was a squad call. The other was a man with a firearm. I'm thinking that's the guy over here. Yes, I'm thinking that was that one. For anybody that don't know, there's a guy off of what is that wood up there?
Wood Street. Yeah.
And when he's on that, he's
Gilville.
he's over. You seen him? Or
Henry
did you see
passed
him? Oh, you passed. Oh, Henry did. Yeah. So basically, there's a guy. He's just running up to everybody's car, and he's like, some people said he has a gun, other people that he haven't. I went up there last week. I don't think he had a gun when I went up there, but you don't know. He's been running up to people's cars just saying crazy stuff. Like he's out of it. He got pink slipped to Heartland by the county, and then he's right back at it. He's out back at it doing the same thing. So he's either going to get hit by a car or he's going to hurt somebody. But that's out of our jurisdiction, but we did go up there for that. 2 civil disputes, 2 domestics, 1 threat cause, One animal complaint call. We got a DOA. I think this is actually my first one over at the Hope Village. First time going out there for one. And we had 2 lockouts.
What's a leads? You said leads. What is that?
So basically, like if you go missing, then technically you'll have 24 hours. But if it's life threatening, or if you've made any crazy threats, you was gonna harm yourself or anybody else, we would get you entered, and it goes across countywide, so everybody can hear your description, who you are, and they'll keep an eye out on you. And we had 2 adults and 2 juveniles. I think both juveniles is one juvenile. No, actually, both. Yeah, so there's one because both juveniles came back. One ended up going to his grandmother's house, and then the other one came back home. And then there was one person, the person with the fire left with the firearm. I don't think we got taken out yet because never heard anything back about that one. So all the other ones is back to normal though for now. So that's pretty much all we have for this week or the last 2 weeks. Any questions?
Excuse me, Mayor, did you say a DOA over at the new
Yeah.
apartments? A person?
Yeah. The DOA. I don't arrival. Yeah, they were older. You know, it still sucks, but you know,
Yeah.
it was natural causes.
Wow.
So.
Thanks, Sergeant Wilson. Takes us to judicial.
If you want to read that one, I'll take care of it.
Actually, no. Actually,
That's just housekeeping.
Resolution R 2023-11, a resolution authorizing Mayor David Spencer to apply for, accept, and enter into a water supply revolving loan account agreement on behalf of the Village of East Canton for construction of water facilities and designated a dedicated repayment source for the loan. Whereas the Village of East Canton seeks to upgrade its existing water facilities, and whereas the Village of East Canton intends to apply for a water supply revolving loan account for the construction of the water facilities. Whereas the Ohio Water Supply Revolving Loan Account requires the government authority to pass legislation for application of a loan and the execution of an agreement, as well as designating a dedicated repayment source. Now therefore, it be resolved by Council of the Village of East Canton, Ohio, Section 1, that Mayor David Spencer be and is hereby authorized to apply for a WSRLA loan, sign all documents for and enter into a water supply revolving loan account with the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency and the Ohio Water Development Authority for planning, design, and/or construction of water facilities on behalf of the Village of East Canton, Ohio. Section 2, that the dedicated source of repayment will be the Water Operating Fund, Fund 5101, and the Water Capital Improvement Fund, Fund 5102. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after its earliest period allowed by law. So moved.
Second.
All right, roll call. Collins.
Yay.
Blue.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Van.
Yes.
Carmen.
Yay.
Buxton.
Yay.
Just so everybody's aware, general public aware, this is in regards to the water tower project that we are looking to take on, as well as the Center Street water line replacement project. So that's what that is in regards to.
This one here is housekeeping also. It's resolution R 2023-12. I'll just read through it. Just the first page. The rest of it's just all legal mumbo jumbo. What it is. It's for ODOT. It's to allow them to do crack sealing on State Route 172. The following is a resolution enacted by the Village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, hereinafter referred to as the local public agency. Whereas the local public agency in the state has identified the need for the described project, crack sealing a portion of State Route 172 in the Village of East Canton. Now therefore be it ordained by the Village of East Canton, Stark County, Ohio, that being in the public interest, the legal or local public agency gives consent to the Director of Transportation to complete the above described project. The local public agency shall cooperate with the Director of Transportation in the above described project as follows. The state shall assume and bear 100% of all costs of the improvement. The local public agency further agrees to pay 100% of the cost of those features requested by the local public agency, which are determined by the state and federal highway administration to be unnecessary for the project. The local public agency agrees that all right-of-way requirements for the described project will be acquired and or made available in accordance with the current state and federal regulations. The local public agency also understands that right-of-way costs include eligible utility costs. That's it.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Dan.
Yes.
Carmen.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yay.
Anything else for judicial? Which takes us to finance.
Finance, I'd like to make a motion to approve invoices in the amount of $32,301.04 as presented by Fiscal Officer Geis.
Second.
Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yay.
Contos.
Yay.
Dan.
Yes.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Buxton.
Yay. I'd also like to make a motion to approve the payroll in the amount of $16,727.99 and also the October 2023 bank reconciliation as well.
Second.
Yes.
I just found out.
All right. Roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
I've been squinting out.
Councilman Baloo.
Yeah.
Councilman Collins. Or I'm sorry, Councilman Contos.
Yay.
Mr. Van.
Yes.
Garmin.
Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah.
Anything else for finance?
No, tonight.
Thank you, Councilman Buxton. Anything for grants for tonight?
Have we found a grant writer yet?
We have someone that we could possibly use. We need to really work to define estimated hours for the grants. Police Chief Heinerman actually sent me what looks to be an appealing grant that we can really jump on. But first, I'm going to get a budgeted number of hours and get it before council. I hope to have that before the next meeting.
Okay, the grant season starts the first of the year, is that correct?
Yeah, but usually when we're filling these grants for 24, those grants won't be really given out until 25 for the most part. But yes, it'll be active towards the end.
We still have to allocate money for whatever projects we're going for. then?
Yeah, we have the layout of the projects, we have the lists. Currently, we're, I don't want to say in limbo, but this police levy will have a direct impact on our ability to complete projects for next year.
Okay.
We use that Maria, she did some research for us for the body cameras, correct?
She did some work for the PD and whatnot. Yep. All right. Yeah, the only difference moving forward, I want to make sure that for a bigger project that we get it in front of council in advance and say, look, these are the estimated hours, this is what it's going to cost, and that way everything is well known. All right. Takes us to other. I had sent out the mayor's court report for October. Total collected for the month, $2,259, which breaks down as follows: $1,304 in fines, $409 in local costs, $546 in state costs. Any questions regarding that? I do see that there's a note on the agenda. Fiscal Officer Geis is going to be requesting council enter an executive session. Before that, I just want to take a minute to ask the residents of the village to please get out and vote tomorrow. The police levy is an important piece of legislation that we want to get moving forward. I think the PD has done a great job. I'm very happy with the work they've done. We all have areas that we can continue to get better in, but I think they've made great strides in the past year and a half. I think we'll continue to make good strides. So I ask for the public support for that levy.
Also,
You guys have too. You really have.
but also vote, keep our mayor Spencer in place.
I appreciate that, Councilman Collins. All right. Anything else before we consider the request for executive session? All right.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session, pursuant to ORC 121.22.
Second.
Kirk, who would you like in the executive session?
Just Ed and Charlie and council, Ed the mayor.
All right, roll call. Collins.
Yeah.
Baloo.
Yeah.
Contos.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yes.
Sherman.
Okay.
Buck.
And there won't be any action or anything